Rising oil prices, a fuel supply crisis, trade route disruption. Key concerns that were discussed at ASEAN meetings earlier this year as a result of the Middle East crisis. Halfway through 2026, how is ASEAN faring in managing this fuel shortage? One ASEAN energy expert says the bloc's coping better than others around the world. The strategy: diversifying partners, reducing dependency, and rolling out short-term measures to cope with fuel shortage.
The real fix is really in dismantling structural dependencies on fossil fuel in the long term. And the clearest way forward is to accelerate regional decarbonization efforts, harness renewable energy sources for power generation, and improve regional energy interconnectivity. So in this regard, I'm really talking about accelerating the operationalization of the ASEAN Power Grid, which is a key prong for ASEAN.
The ASEAN Power Grid, or APG for short, is a mega project for the bloc to share energy. For the initiative to succeed, governments need to link up infrastructure, modernize grids, invest in battery development, and also fine-tune policies. But Ms. Seah warns that there's an even more urgent concern: food security.
Because there's a lack in terms of food, there's still a fairly reasonable amounts has been produced in the last season, and in which also countries in the region has already diversified many of their food sources. So that kind of impact will not be seen until later. But if we can mitigate some of these impacts, right, then it will be much lessened.
Another key topic is the Myanmar crisis, which saw a significant development following recent meetings between ASEAN's top diplomats and the Myanmar foreign minister. The recent meeting between ASEAN foreign ministers and Myanmar's foreign minister Tin Maung Swe wasn't a sudden development. ASEAN Chair of the Philippines had revealed this plan earlier this year. But what's significant is that the meeting was held in person, despite some ASEAN members objecting to it. Thanks to Thailand's efforts, this was the first such gathering, even though it was couched as an informal meeting. That's because formally, ASEAN's view is that neither Myanmar leader Min Aung Hlaing nor his foreign minister will be invited to ASEAN meetings unless they fully comply with the 5-point consensus.
ASEAN countries are not fools. No? They know that Min Aung Hlaing has accepted the 5-point consensus but done nothing about it. So why should they go on being nice to him? So I think that those steps that they took about excluding him from key meetings, I think that's the correct approach. Of course, Thailand is a special case because it's taken in the largest number of refugees, and also there's a large Myanmar labor force in Thailand, almost a part of Thailand. So Thailand has a special stake in it.
Naypyidaw is likely to play up this engagement as a step closer to normalizing ties with ASEAN. But some ASEAN members have stressed that engagement does not mean recognition. So, what's next for ASEAN-Myanmar ties?
They're sort of prepared to wait and see where the whole group wants to go. And because ASEAN works on consensus, they are very likely to kind of internally recalibrate, have those discussions within themselves, amongst themselves.
In the short term, such ASEAN-Myanmar engagements can serve as direct and informal channels for closed-door diplomacy to move the needle on Myanmar. But as ASEAN has stressed numerous times, any final resolution has to be Myanmar-owned and Myanmar-led. Leong Wai Kit, CNA.